In this lecture, we're going to discuss economics of information. So the problems exist in markets when the information is asymmetric. What does it mean? It describes a situation in which parties have different information. Hope Scholarship is an example of a situation in which information was different for two different parties. I hope you read in your book about Hope Scholarship, a program that was started during the Clinton administration where everybody was invited to that program and students can take out loans, whatever they needed to graduate from school. And when it comes to paying off those loans, the paying for those loans was based on how much money you're making after the graduation. So this program didn't really work. The reason for it was because those who had really high perspectives, such as lawyers and doctors that knew they were going to make a lot of money after graduation, they didn't want to give up a big chunk of their income towards the scholarship. So they opt in for a regular loans where they have to pay fixed percentage, right? So 5% of what they actually took out. It was Hope Scholarship. You were supposed to pay percentage of your income. So who stayed and who actually opted in for this kind of scholarship? Those who knew that they were not going to make a lot of money, and as a result, they knew they were not going to pay a lot back to this scholarship. So what does it have to do with information? The parties involved had different information. Those who organized this program did not know whether or not a student is going to make a lot of money or not enough money after graduation. Yet the students knew exactly. So those who thought that they were going to have high income, they didn't sign up for those programs. And only those who knew that they were not going to make a lot of money after graduation, those used this program. As a result, it didn't make enough money. As a result, it didn't work. So we say that when information asymmetry is too large, markets cannot function efficiently. For example, healthcare market, insurance market, used car market, housing market. In each one of those markets, there exists informational asymmetry. In healthcare market, you and your doctor have different information. You and your insurance company also have information. You know about your diseases, your insurance company may not necessarily know about that. In used car markets, buyers and sellers have different information. Those that are selling cars have more information about the product they're trying to sell than those who are about to purchase that car. The same with the housing market. Those who are selling their houses probably know much more about the house, such as whether or not everything works, whether or not they have nice neighbors, whether or not they live in a nice neighborhood, than those that are actually looking to buy those houses. So when it comes to the asymmetric information, we can divide this it's hidden information into two different things. First, we can talk about hidden actions, and we can talk about hidden characteristics. Hidden actions is when someone's actions are not fully observed. Whatever you do, it's not possible for the other party to see what you're doing. So a person who's not fully monitored may take actions that are undesirable by uninformed party. In this case, we create a situation that we call moral hazard. Hidden characteristic is a situation in which some characteristic of a person cannot be fully observed. So here we cannot observe characteristic of a person. And this person has inherent qualities that are undesirable by uninformed party. And then we're dealing with adverse selection problem. So let's look at each one of these problems separately. Let's start with hidden actions. Health insurance wishes you would take a good care of yourself, so you would have good actions. You would not perform bad actions. And do not get involved in a risky behavior. House insurer wishes you lock your door every night. Car insurer wishes you drive under the speed limit and don't leave your car unlocked. So all of those wishes are for the insurance company. They want you to act well, but they can't really observe necessarily how you act. They can't really know whether or not you involve yourself in a risky behavior. They can't really observe whether or not you lock in your car, whether or not you're driving under the speed limit, and whether or not you're taking good care and making sure that your house is not going to get robbed. In this situation, because they cannot observe our actions, we create a moral hazard problem. It's a problem where a party behaves differently when not bearing full cost of consequences. In each of the described examples, we talked about insurance companies wishing that you were acting good. The funny thing is that you would have acted well if you had to bear all the consequences of your actions on your own. But once you get insurance, you no longer have to do that. Once you get insurance, you know that insurance company is going to pay part of the costs that are associated with your behavior. So thus, uninsured people are more likely to get flu shots than those who are insured. Once you get insurance, you know that if you get sick, it's going to be covered by insurance company. So you're not as scared anymore to get insurance. You're not as scared anymore to get sick. As a result, you may not get flu shots anymore. People with auto insurance are less likely to lock their car. If you don't have an insurance and you know if your car is going to get stolen, you're probably going to make sure that it's locked every single time you leave it. Once you have insurance and you know that insurance is going to pay you if your car is getting stolen, you're much more careless in that case. Renters are less likely to take good care of apartment appliances. The reason for that is because they're not going to pay for them. So here we're not even talking about the insurance market. When somebody rents an apartment, they're not going to take good care of that apartment necessarily. If it was your own house and you know that you have to fix those appliances on your own, you're probably much more likely to take good care of those appliances. So this is what a moral hazard problem is. We act differently once we get insurance, once we're not bearing full cost of the consequences of our actions. Hidden characteristics create different kind of problem. When hidden characteristics exist, for example, person has a predisposition to a cancer, or used car has a transmission that is about to fail, that's a hidden characteristic examples. What kind of problems are being created in this case? We call that problem an adverse selection problem. It's a situation in which riskier participants are more likely to join the pool of participants. Likewise, less risky will avoid participation. What do we mean by all this participation? What are they participating in? Most likely it's referred to a situation when we participate in the insurance market, or sometimes in a used car or used house markets. Let's look at the examples. Health insurance or Hope Scholarship. When it comes to health insurance, before the Obamacare, you had a choice to have insurance or not to have insurance. Which people would buy insurance? Those that are probably very likely to get sick. Those that probably have history of health problems. Those that probably know that some of their relatives had bad health problems. Those that are very healthy, those that are almost never getting sick, most likely are not going to get health insurance. Well, why is that a problem? When it comes to the insurance market, insurance is really collective. We get the people together and all of those people start sharing the risk of getting sick. When you get insurance, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to get sick. But if you do, you know that you're not going to bear the full cost. You share that risk with other market participants. The health company doesn't pay for you being sick on their own. They collect that money from other participants, and as a result, you are getting paid from parts of their insurance. So as a result of the adverse selection, only those that were more likely to get sick would opt in for the health insurance. As a result, health insurance was going to get more expensive and more expensive and more expensive. If now only sick people are getting health insurance, now the cost of that insurance is going to go up. As a result, some that are even slightly healthy are going to opt out. If it's cheaper for them to pay for their health problem on their own, they're not going to participate in the insurance. So this whole idea of insurance, of risk sharing, is going to disappear. So that's why adverse selection problem exists. The same, it was affecting a Hope Scholarship. We saw that only those that knew that they're not going to have very high income after graduation participated in that scholarship. Even though the idea was that everybody would participate and those who make more money will pay more and those who make less money will pay less. Well, only those that knew they were not going to make a lot of money participated. As a result, we didn't really create this pool of participants where on average we were able to cover those scholarships. Those who knew they were going to make a lot of money opt out, created adverse selection problem. As a result, a somewhat good idea did not work. Another example could be used car market. Why would you ever try to sell your car, a used car, if it works perfectly? Probably those people are not going to participate in the used car market. As a result, we're seeing cars that are not really that great exist in the market for the used cars.